You know, when we think about sports, it's all about winners and losers, right? Gold medals, finishing times. But what if I told you that one of the most powerful victories in Olympic history belongs to the man who finished dead last? Today, we're going to look at a story that completely flips the script on what it really means to win.
So let me ask you this. When is a race actually over? Seems like a simple question, doesn't it? It's over when the winner crosses the finish line. Case closed. But what if the end for one person is just the beginning of the story for someone else?
Okay, so picture this. It's the 1964 Tokyo Olympics, the 10,000-meter final. The winner is already finished, the other runners are collapsing, trying to catch their breath, officials are getting ready for the medal ceremony. I mean, for all intents and purposes, the event is done, or so everyone thought.
Because look, out there on the track, there's still one guy, a lone figure just plodding along. You can see he's in agony, and there's nobody else in sight. Slowly, the entire stadium starts to realize, for him, this race is nowhere near over.
And you can imagine the question that rippled through that crowd of 70,000 people. Who on earth is this man in uniform number 67? And why is he still running? Well, his name was Ranatunge Karunananda. He was a soldier from Ceylon, which we know today as Sri Lanka. And here's the part that makes this story just incredible. He wasn't just tired. He was sick. Really sick. He'd been battling a serious illness all week. Honestly, he was barely fit enough to even be on that starting line.
To really get what was happening, you have to see this sheer contrast. On one hand, you have the winner, Billy Mills from the USA. His victory was one of the biggest upsets in Olympic history, a real Cinderella story. And then you have Karunananda. On paper, he was last. He'd been lapped 4 times, but his race wasn't about a medal. It was about a promise he made to himself. 4 laps. Let's just pause on that for a second. That means when the winner finished the entire race, Karunananda still had a full mile, about 1.6 kilometers left to go, all by himself in a massive stadium on the biggest stage in the world. And this is where the whole story takes this unbelievable turn. Because the crowd's first reaction, it wasn't support. Oh no, it was the exact opposite.
I mean, can you imagine? At first, there was just confusion, but that confusion quickly turned ugly. It turned into jeers and then boos. To a lot of people in those stands, this lone runner was an embarrassment. He was holding everything up, a symbol of failure in an arena built to celebrate nothing but victory.
But then, something shifted. As Karunananda just kept going, lap after grueling lap, the jeers started to fade. The boos died down. And this profound, heavy silence fell over the entire stadium. And then, as he began his final lap, that silence absolutely erupted. A unified roar. 70,000 people jumped to their feet, cheering for the man in last place with a passion that honestly rivaled the cheers for the gold medalist.
So why? Why put himself through the pain, through the humiliation? When asked later, Karunanda's reason was so simple and so powerful. It was about a promise to his country, that sending him there wasn't a waste, and even more important, a promise to his daughter, that a father finishes what he starts.
That incredible act of will didn't just earn him a standing ovation that day. It left a deep, lasting mark on the host nation, Japan. Almost immediately, the Japanese media gave him a nickname, the most spirited loser. Now, that wasn't an insult. It was the highest praise they could give. They saw in his struggle the true meaning of the Olympic spirit. It was a lesson that victory isn't about always being first. It's about character, it's about perseverance, and it's about refusing to quit. The public response was just overwhelming. He was absolutely flooded with fan mail. We're talking so many letters of admiration that the post office in the Olympic Village literally couldn't handle it. They had to call him and ask him to come down and pick up the sacks of mail himself. And this wasn't just a fleeting moment of admiration. It lasted. By 1971, his story, called Uniform Number 67, was actually required reading in Japanese schools. His determination became a symbol for a nation. Then, in 1974, the Japanese government offered him a full coaching position, inviting him to move his family over. But this is where the story takes a tragic, heartbreaking turn. Just a few weeks before he was supposed to start this brand new life in Japan, Ranatunge Karunananda died. His death remained shrouded in a kind of solemn mystery, a really poignant end to such an inspiring life.
But even with his passing, the story, it doesn't end there. That idea, that powerful philosophy of finishing what you start, it just keeps echoing on, generation after generation.
And in this beautiful, poetic moment, his legacy came full circle when the Olympic Games returned to that very same city, Tokyo, in 2021.
Because the spirit of uniform number 67 was alive and well in his granddaughter Oshadi. She actually lives and works in Japan now as a caregiver. Every single day she carries on his "finish what you started" philosophy, embodying the legacy of a grandfather she never got to meet but whose spirit clearly guides her.
In the end, Karunananda's story shows us something so powerful. The gap between first and last place, you can measure that in minutes and seconds. But the gap between giving up and finishing, well, that's measured in something else entirely. It leaves us with a pretty big question, doesn't it? Are the greatest victories really measured by a clock or by character?